Hey, welcome to Bollox Talks and Tangents. We're here. It's 6:34 and it's
6:34.
Thursday. It's time to talk about some crazy stuff in our world, a crazy history show that you have here. I try and explain to people what our show is all about. And it's like, it's me and Derek talking.
We're just talking. We're talking about stuff we're interested in, things we figured out.
And we decide 2 days before, and then we don't talk to each other for those 2 days until we get here. So and somehow we still come up with some of the same stuff.
That's kind of remarkable.
It is kind of strange. But first thing we got to talk about.
Well, let's tell people. So what are we going to talk about tonight?
Oh yeah, you.
So we're going to talk about capital punishment down through the ages. Mm-hmm. Some lovely, really disgusting ways to kill people.
Ridiculous stuff.
And then we're going to talk about America's forgotten or lesser known wars.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them.
The ones we don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, but we do talk about this. We got to talk about our sponsors.
Our amazing sponsors.
We have some amazing sponsors. Palm Valley Golf Course, Golf Club. I went out there this past weekend, had a wonderful time. It's a 9-hole course.
It's a walking course, correct?
A walking course. It's beautiful. It's got pastures on it. There was some really cool horses beside us, and it was just a fun course. And the laser golf is almost set up now. They're going to have that.
I'm very excited about that.
They're going to have 15 stalls there. It'll be able to play at night.
It's like a simulator, right?
A simulator.
So you can play any course, any of the great courses in the world.
It's very similar to a Top Golf type setting. You're in a kind of a driving range scenario situation, but you'll be able to have drinks. They'll have like food trucks there and some of the things.
Oh, it's going to be so
I'm super
cool.
excited about it once they get it going.
Yeah.
So they're really, really close to having it open. So, and it is, to me, the best driving range I've been to.
Oh, it's a fantastic driving
range. Wide open. It's wide open. So great job up there.
Very
Enjoyed
forgiving for people like me.
Yes, yeah. I only hurt some animals. But just a lot of fun out there. Go check them out. It is the most affordable golf you're going to find. If you're a beginner, it's a great place to start.
It's a great place.
All right, River and Fort.
River and Fort is what a beautiful, amazing addition to our downtown.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that place?
It's wonderful. The people there are great. The food is excellent. I have a friend who has his daughter's coming in town. He hadn't seen her in a couple months. And he's like, where should I go? I was like, go to River and Fort.
Yes.
He's like, I want to take her. I was like, go to River and Fort. They have this appetizer tower, a seafood tower.
Oh, my God, it's amazing.
It is incredible. Blake and I get it every time we go there.
And the view. The view is bonkers.
You know what you can see from there?
The river.
Yeah. And what else?
And the fort.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how you got that. We didn't practice that.
No.
We didn't practice that, but he got it on his own.
If you're not blown away by the view from the rooftop of that place, then you don't have a soul. That's all I got to say to you.
No.
It is absolutely
I don't even know if I want to be friends.
No, you'd be dead to me.
Yeah. No. All right. St. Augustine Pirate Museum.
My favorite freaking museum in town.
Yeah.
I love this place. I just finally convinced one of my Irish buddies here in town to go and take his kids there. And of course he comes back and he's mesmerized.
Yeah.
He's like, I had no idea. I'm like, how many times did I tell you? Go to the Pirate Museum. It'll blow your mind. Look it. If you haven't been, people, go to the Pirate Museum. 800 different beautiful, amazing pieces of pirate history. There's a real original Jolly Roger. Every time I go, I find something new. It's a hell of a wonderful place.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, I'm so happy they're here.
I am too.
And what they've done to that entire area, they've classed up they classed up the joint.
They did class it up.
Yeah. And these guys do a lot of different things from that pirate museum too that makes the city better. All right.
Meehan's Irish
I've been there twice this week already.
Meehan's. I was there for an extended trip on Friday.
Oh,
I did an extended one. Yeah, I went out to dinner with the family.
I was there
with some family friends. I was sitting outside early in the evening.
I was there later in the evening with the Beach Boys.
And then I may have gone back later in the evening too. I did not see you later in the evening.
You did not see me.
But I was not in a condition to see well later on.
Well, it was one of those nights where my bicycle got too drunk to take me home.
Oh, I hate when the bicycle does that.
Yeah.
But that happens at Meehan's.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 3 bars in one. right?
Yeah.
Like I started inside, then I went outside. I was upstairs for a while. Yeah, it got away from me, but it got away from me beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the way to go. No, Meehan's, I mean, the food is so good.
So.
And by the way,
damn
I did
good
get oysters. They were from Texas. And normally Texas oysters, I'm kind of an oyster snob a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
But they were extra salty. They were really good. Are you an oyster person?
I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
I avoid them. The wife once won an oyster eating competition.
Okay.
And we've both been kind of off of raw oysters since then. I'll eat them cooked.
Okay.
Yeah, you can cook them but the raw ones, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. These were raw.
These are raw.
I only got 6 raw ones. So I got a half a dozen because I was like, I think I need some oysters.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
And then Johnny's Oyster Box, always great. All right. Beacon Listening Room and Gypsy Cab. All right. I have a read for this one because they have something special coming up the end of the month.
Yeah.
They have, they are doing an event with Ned. All right. And if you don't know who Ned is the guy who started Gypsy Cab years and years ago. So they're doing a dinner with Ned, and you can go to www.gypsycab.com to find out more of the details, and it's on March 27th. Ned's going to have his cookbook there.
Oh, that's
Comes
superb.
up with some amazing recipes. Just a fun guy to be around. But check it out. It's on March 27th. But go to gypsycab.com. And check it out.
Incredible.
And the Beacon Listening Room last night was slammed again. I don't know. I mean, there's something that happens there on Wednesday night.
Something happens on Wednesday night. Something about questions and trivia.
Oh.
And some guy with a beard.
I had 2 new teams.
Yeah?
Yeah, they wanted to argue. Didn't they want to argue,
You
Blake?
want to argue? Fuck
They
them.
want to argue bad.
They wanted to argue bad. It didn't go well for them.
No, it never
No.
does.
It didn't go well.
But to be fair, we did have an honest team, though.
We did have one honest team, and dumb luck, actually, we gave them extra points, and they came up and said, no, we have 6 less points. Yeah.
That's
Blake-
amazing.
Blake, his math skills weren't on the game last night. Actually, he gave him too many points. He gave an answer. All right, these guys, if you want to know numbers, this is
Abare,
where you go.
Kresge and Associates. These guys are the hardest working and best accountants in the business. They're probably at work right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's tax season. They're
I'm
at
sure.
it all day long. If you want to manage your taxes, I know everybody thinks, no, it'll cost me too much money to have a professional do it. No, it won't. They will save you money. They will find you money. They will find you things you've never even contemplated in your life. Abare, Kresge and Associates, you've got to go use them. You've got to use them. If you're starting a business, if you want business advice, go see these guys.
Hey, all right, Blake, I'm going to task you. I know you're producing the show or making things happen back there, but I need you to order a pizza. So when we're done, we're picking it up. All right, and we're going to pick it up from 900 Degree Pizza and Pasta. I haven't eaten since
Haven't
like 10 o'clock this morning. I ate too much 10 o'clock this morning, but I haven't eaten since 10 o'clock this morning. So, Blake, can you handle that for us? All right, and 900 Degree Pizza and Pasta. I'm telling you right now, when you open that pizza box, it's what a pizza is supposed to be.
And it is delicious. Their sauce is incredible. Again, if you haven't been, if you live anywhere close to Lewis Speedway, if you're over there in Heritage Park or any of those places over there off of Dot Road, go to 900 Degree Pizza and Pasta because it is incredible. The food is amazing. The people who work there are beautiful people, but the pizza is incredible.
All right. So they close at 8. So what time are we going to leave here?
We're going to be out of here at 7:34.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, City Gates Distillery and St. Augustine Distillery, my whiskey of the week. This is one of your favorites.
I love this.
Yeah.
I've gifted this bottle to about 4 people now.
And what it is it's the peanut butter whiskey from City Gates.
So good.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It is just a drink that it's dangerous.
It's dangerous because it's so good.
It's that good. When you have a drink that's that good, you're like, oh, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
This drink is beautiful. I was skeptical, then I drank some. Everybody I've given it gives me that look of like, seriously, dude? And I'm like, shut up and drink it. The feedback I get is amazing. So good.
I legitimately, this is so good. I legitimately want to create a shot from this drink. And I think I think I might have to make an experiment this weekend.
I think that's a worthy experiment, a worthy endeavor, sir.
Yeah.
I like that you're always thinking. It's always science
What do you
with
think?
you.
There's some jelly involved?
There's got to be some jelly
Yeah.
involved. Yeah.
Or some banana?
Oh, I don't know about
Peanut butter and banana. You never had a peanut butter and banana sandwich?
No.
Oh my gosh, Blake, help me out here. Some honey peanut butter.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, it's wrong. Peanut butter and banana.
Peanut butter and banana sandwich.
You never had
one?
Elvis?
That's
I've never had peanut butter and jelly either.
Oh my God.
No.
Do you guys not have peanut butter and jelly in Ireland?
No. I mean, we didn't have joy, freedom, or sunshine either, so don't be that fucking surprised.
Have you ever heard of George Washington Carver?
So wait, hold on. So is the national sandwich of Ireland just bread, potatoes, and bread?
No, it's just potatoes.
Yes.
It's potatoes.
It is, but the potato is in the form of the chip, or as we call them, crisps. And I will tell you something, young man. The Irish chip butty, which is French fries, proper French fries, in between bread and... You get bread, butter, what we would call French fries here, but hand-cupped chips, and then maybe a bit of bacon on top of it, is a damn fine sandwich, sir.
That doesn't sound horrible.
But that crisp sandwich, we call chips over here.
Is the bread toasted or no?
No, you wouldn't toast. Oh, Jesus, no.
Yeah.
Do you
have a toaster? Did you have a toaster growing up?
We had a fire.
Did you have a toaster growing up?
No, I had the fire, and he used to hold the thing in there. Did we have a toaster?
Oh gosh! All right, this is when we do the word origins, and I like some of these today. Some of them are a little weird and uncomfortable, but we're going to go with it anyway. All right, I'm going to start off with clean your clock.
Clean your clock. I love this expression.
If you keep telling me you're not going to have peanut butter and banana, I'm going to clean your clock.
Clean my clock. All right.
So as I was looking it up, clean your clock. It's like beating somebody down, or like if you're an athlete and you're playing in tennis and I clean your clock, that means I just wiped you out.
Yeah.
All right. If it actually comes from an actual clock, the face of a clock. So if it means you're going to punch someone in the face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the face of a clock face. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the 1890s, early 1900s, the term clean actually meant beat.
Really?
It meant beat or defeat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had no idea, but that's where it originally came from. So
you're going to clean your clock.
Clean you out, beat you.
Clean you out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Clean your clock.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very good.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yeah. So see
All right,
how this show goes. Don't make me clean your clock.
So the first one I got is it's hooligan. Hooligan. We all know what hooligans
I can drink
are.
to that.
Yeah. We've been accused of hooliganism ourselves. So it is, of course.
Here, have a drink, you hooligan.
Yeah, hooligan. It originates from a rowdy and raucous Irish family, with the Hoolahans, and it comes from an 1890s music hall song in London. Or there's also a mention of it in 1899, where they're talking about in the book they're talking about a famous Irish bouncer and thief called Patrick Hoolahan, and somehow the name got changed to hooligan. But they were a raucous family, and even in 1894 there were police reports in Lambert in London talking about hooligan boys wrecking stuff. And then in one of the Sherlock Holmes novels right after that, Arthur Conan Doyle started referring to raucous behaviour by immigrant Irish as hooliganism. Oh. Yeah, and it all kicked up within 7 or 8 years in the 1890s.
Two of them from the 1890s. We're
living
living through. Okay, I'm going to take us to 1925. Okay?
A damn fine year, sir.
1925. It's the first time this term was used.
Really?
Right?
1925.
Yes, and it's a master suite.
Oh,
so
the master suite, and you got that nice bedroom.
You got the bedroom. You got a bathroom off the. You got a master bath.
A master bath, right?
All right. Well, that term was not used until 1925.
Huh.
But recently, within the last 10 years, they're saying they should change the name.
Why? Why would you?
They're saying it's racist. They're saying it's racist, and it needs to be called a primary suite. Now, it was never called a master suite while there was slavery.
Right.
But recently, in our woke world, it has to be a primary suite.
Primary suite. I'm not going to call it a primary suite.
I will not.
I can't go to the primary bathroom.
I am in the. Yeah. I'm in the real estate world.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to change at this part of my
No.
life.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Like, you just
But
got to
it
educate
was-
people sometimes. Like, we can't be offended by everything. Like, stop
Yeah.
being offended by everything, okay? Seriously. It's Master Suite, and it's not an offensive term.
And I
it's
think the
just-
people that watch this show aren't offended, or they wouldn't be watching this damn show.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So we're kind of preaching to the choir at this
We
point.
are, indeed.
So-
Okay, so my next one, and I never knew this, and I feel like I should have known this one. The word is phony. You know, you're an old phony. You're such a phony.
Yeah.
Right? And it comes, obviously, used a lot in one of my favourite novels, The Catcher in the Rye. Holden Caulfield calls everybody a phony. So, obviously, we know what a phony is. It's a fake or, you know, whatever it is. But it comes from an old con, an old bit of grifting, an old swindle
Okay.
from my people.
It's an Irish term?
It's an Irish term. A ring.
You have two Irish terms today.
I know.
Yeah.
And a
You're
ring.
going to have to get out of that, get around.
A ring in Irish, in our language, in Gaelic, in
Gaelic,
Irish
yeah.
language, is fáinne.
Okay.
Fainne, pronounced fáinne. And when Irish folk went to England originally, they took the term with them, right, meaning ring, but some of the English, they saw Fainne and they called it fawny. Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Fawny.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like a carnival, sort of a three-card Monty kind of a thing, where people would go around and they would con you using a fawny rig. A fawny rig. And the idea was you drop a ring on the ground, panic, look for it, find it, go, Jesus, it's my mother's ring. Oh, such a beautiful thing. And of course it's worthless. And you talk it up and where your mother got it from. And then the mark, the person you're swindling, will be interested and they'd be like, geez, you know, I am tight for cash. And so you'd sell it to them at a knockdown rate because they helped you find it.
Yeah.
And a phony rig became a phony. And that's where the word comes from. Yeah.
Wow. It comes
I know,
from the ring.
never knew.
From
Yeah.
selling fake rings.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I never knew that term. Never knew that term.
Pretty freaking
All right.
cool.
All right. So the two topics we have tonight are capital punishments
And America's lesser
and
known or forgotten
America's
wars.
lesser known wars. All right. Where do you want to begin?
Oh, let's begin with capital punishment, with
All right.
death, sir.
All right.
Death.
This one's kind of dark, and I apologize. The next 23 minutes is going to be dark.
Real.
Maybe 30,
Real dark.
because I don't know if we're going to get through this.
So I want to start.
Mm-hmm.
So the earliest capital punishment goes back to the 18th century BCE, right? Mm-hmm. 18th century, from the code of King Hammurabi of Babylon, right? The Hammurabi Code. And there was the death penalty for 25 different crimes.
Yeah.
But murder was not one of them.
No.
You could get the death penalty for things like perjury, for stealing stuff, for sleeping with somebody that you weren't supposed to be sleeping with.
Yes.
Murder, they were like, nah, that's fine.
Murder's okay.
Right? But my favourite, weirdest one, the draconian laws of Athens, again, 7th century and BCE. Every crime you committed was a capital offence in Athens at the time. Every single
You could get killed
crime.
for anything.
For anything. Now, Draco and the draconian laws were written in blood, not in
course
ink.
they were.
He wrote them in blood. Now, they only lasted for about 20 years, because once he died, people
Kept
were
killing
like,
people off.
fuck this, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, right? Yeah. But, okay. This one I love. I genuinely, this put me down as a sick fucker, but the penalty of the sack in Rome, which is called the poena culae, which was, you got this for the crime of parricide, which meant the killing of your father or the killing of your mother, right? What I love most about this was getting this penalty of the sack was still being used up until the 18th century in Germany.
Right.
It lasted all the time.
But you got to explain to them how the sack comes into play.
Right.
Because, I mean, they literally would flog you.
Flog you.
All right. They would beat you with this large sack. They would beat you with the large sack.
Yeah.
And then they would throw you in the sack, and throw you in the river.
Throw you in the sack, usually tie you up, throw you in the river. My favorite part of it was they would throw animals in with you.
A snake,
A snake.
a chicken,
A chicken.
a dog, or this one, an ape.
An ape, yes.
Where the hell are they getting an ape from to throw in the sack with you?
So I went way down the rabbit hole here.
All right.
Right?
I just came up with the word origin I'm going to do next week.
They got the snake, they got the viper, because it was at the time in Rome they believed that vipers on their birth killed their parents. So that went in the sack with you. Mm-hmm. They put a monkey or an ape in there because it looked like a human and it represented madness or insanity in Rome. They put a rooster or a chicken in there because they were incredibly violent, cockfighting, etc., etc. And they put a dog in there because dogs were feared in Rome because of rabies. And they lobbed all those things into a sack with you after beating you with the sack, and then they threw you in a river. And you died.
You died. If you weren't dead already.
And the thing about it was, they wanted you to go in with the animals because if human and animal blood mixed, that meant you could never settle in the afterlife. And it was eternal dishonor for you. Right? But the Emperor Constantine, the guy who brought Christianity to Rome,
yes,
in the 330s, he added another animal to the list. And he changed, it wasn't just for killing your parents. If you committed adultery, you also got the penalty of the sack. And he added a fish to this, because a fish somehow was a symbol of lust. Now, I couldn't track it down in other places why the fish was a symbol of lust, but
I have my ideas.
I do too, but it's not,
I have my
it's not for, yeah, they were still doing this
There
in
wasn't
Germany.
as much showers at that time.
There weren't. No.
I have my ideas.
They were still doing this in Germany in the 18th century.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't putting you in with animals. They were painting the animals either on the inside of the sack or painting them on pottery and throwing it in with you.
But they were still beating
symbolically.
you, still flogging.
Still beating you and still throwing you in the sack and then throwing you in the river.
All right. My next one goes back to ancient Israel.
All right.
All right. Death by molten metal.
Death by molten metal.
It defined 36 crimes as punishable by death. Those guilty of incest, adultery with a married daughter of a member of a priesthood were executed by burning.
Right.
But not being burnt from the outside.
Oh, fuck, what?
They would hold their mouths open and pour molten metal down your throat.
Oh, come on.
And burn your innards.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that is absolutely... Oh,
the individual was originally be held and strangled by rope, and then mouth would be held open, and then they would pour the metal down their throat.
Oh, that is really, really nasty.
That one's one that just...
Yeah.
Wow.
That is bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so I came across one that is kind of similar to that. It's called the Brazen Bull.
Oh,
right.
I saw that one too.
The Brazen Bull, again, 6th century.
Yeah.
BCE. A fella called Phalaris of Sicily. And he had a life-size bronze bull built with a trapdoor in the ass of the bull, obviously.
Where else would you put it?
Right, I mean, really.
Yeah.
Right? The bull on the inside was hollowed out. They would put the offender into the bronze bull, seal the bull's butt.
Yeah.
Sure.
Button up the butt.
Right? And then they would light a fire underneath the bronze bull.
They literally would bake.
And you would be baked inside, roasted to death. But you know my favorite, the kicker on this was, the guy who designed it, he'd built a series of pipes into the bronze bull, so that the screams of the burning victim came out through the bull's mouth and sounded like moos. Wow. How sick is that?
That's incredible. That's incredible. All right. I have a couple left here. I think I'm going to do crucifixion. I'm going to do crucifixion.
It's a pretty famous one.
I might come back to flailing.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, everybody knows and has heard about the crucifixion.
Yeah.
All right. So it was in ancient Rome, and it was a brutal. Justice was class based.
Yeah.
So it depended on the class and who would get to vote and stuff like that. Only evidence we would obtain, but basically what it was is they would nail you to the cross.
Yeah.
Do you know how you die with crucifixion?
You heart attack, or you could you'd starve to death.
You suffocate.
Suffocate. Oh, fuck yes.
Because you have to pull yourself up.
Yeah.
To take a breath, and your body starts to sag.
Sag. Oh.
And even if because the nails through your feet aren't going to hold, so your entire body weight
drags you down,
sags, and you suffocate. So you can't pull yourself up anymore. Is how you die. I was thinking, you bled to death or you did that thing, but no, that is a long and slow death.
I read there was a Roman general called Crassus, and after the Spartacus rebellion, the slave rebellion, 70 BC, he crucified 7,000 people on the Appian Way as a lesson to what happens when you rebel against Rome.
Wow.
That was the main road going into the city of Rome.
No, it's the oldest. I mean, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's the oldest
Appian Way,
road. Yeah.
So it was abolished by the Emperor Constantine in 337 because Constantine was a Christian and out of veneration for Jesus, he outlawed crucifixion. Yeah. But did you know, this is really disturbing to me, up until the end of World War II, they were still using crucifixion as a capital punishment in Japan.
Wow.
And they were doing it in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates as recently as 4 years ago.
What?
Yeah. 2019, Saudi Arabia and in the United Arab Emirates, they were using crucifixion to kill people.
Yeah. And see, I thought the guillotine, I can't believe how recent it was, but you're talking 4 years ago.
4 years ago. 4 years ago. Right, so we discovered the guillotine was last used in France
in the late 1970s.
1977.
Yeah.
They chopped I think he was a Tunisian immigrant. It was done for torture and murder and sexual assault of a woman. And he was guillotined in 1977.
Yeah.
1977, they used the guillotine.
Yeah.
And
And that brings us full circle back to one of our word origins in one of our first shows, Hell in a Handbasket.
Hell in a Handbasket, yeah.
Yeah. Because his head fell off into a basket, and most people that were under the guillotine were going to hell.
They were going to hell.
So that was Hell in a Handbasket.
Did you know the guillotine is named after a guy whose last name was Guillotine?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he invented it because he thought it was a more humane way to kill people.
And I think it might have been compared to the other ones.
Right, exactly.
I mean, which one did you list that you would not put? I would take the guillotine over everything else. And this one's one I definitely would take the guillotine over. Flaying.
Oh yeah, flaying. Just pretty Game of Thrones to me. Yeah, it's real dark.
Uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable.
I can't sit in my seat. I'm uncomfortable. All right. So flaying. You know what flaying? Blake, you have any idea what flaying is?
No, sir.
All right. That is removing the skin of the victim.
Oh.
They're alive when this is happening.
Yep.
They peel the skin off the victim.
Oh my God.
And they try and keep it as intact as possible.
That
you're
sounds
basically
absolutely
skinned. You're
disgusting.
skinned alive is
or
what it is.
literally skinned alive. It was used for several centuries.
Yeah.
All right. Ancient Rome, medieval England.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some Irishmen that were flayed.
For sure there was.
And the Ottoman Empire. Jesus. All right.
Oh, flaying. Yeah, I found one that, as far as I know, was only used briefly.
But and the worst part. The worst part is when this happened, the family members would have to see the bodies without their skin displayed for the city to see, to create fear in the city.
Well, so in medieval England, and then again going up through the Tudor times, if you were of nobility, they chopped your head off because it was a quicker and easier way
to
die, right? Nobility got that. But the lower down you were in the social rank, the worse the capital punishment was. Can I just share some lunacy, brilliant lunacy? Like, in 1665, here in the New York colony, they instituted a thing called the Duke's Laws. And this was the death penalty for all kinds of different things. But in 1665, in the New York colonies, you could get the death penalty for denying the one true God, the Christian God. You could get the death penalty for premeditated murder, for killing by poison, for sodomy, for buggery, kidnapping, perjury in a capital trial, traitorous denial of the king's rights, or raising arms against the king. Right? This is in New York.
Yeah.
Right? And within a century, obviously, we were, raising arms against the king and no one had a problem with it. But my favorite weird one, you could get the death penalty for striking your mother and your father if both parents complained that you had struck both of them. You could be hanged by the neck until dead. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. This one, I saved this one because this one's probably one of the darker ones. And I
as opposed to the lighter fare that we've had.
Much lighter. And I know you have something on this. The waist chop.
Ooh, yeah, the waist chop. Fuck.
You read this, right?
Yeah, I did.
It's so disturbing.
So disturbing. Yeah.
The waist chop. It was early imperial China.
Yeah. Fun place, by the way.
Oh, keepers.
Yeah. China, by the way, is still leading the world in annual executions.
Yeah. Still winning.
Yay!
Oh, gosh.
So,
all right.
What would they do in the waist chop?
Okay.
Go on.
So the waist chop, luckily this only went around for like 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
All right. You had to suffer 5 pains. They'd start with your nose.
They would chop your nose off.
They'd cut off your nose. Then your foot.
Huh.
Then your hand.
Yeah.
Then your penis.
Yeah, then they'd castrate you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, you were cut in half at the waist. You were alive the entire time.
Right. So
Then they cut you in half.
The cutting in half at the waist, the really disturbing part that I read about this was the key, a proper executioner doing this right, was trained to cut you in half and miss your vital organs so that once you were cut in half, you would be alive long enough to suffer even more.
Until you're bled to death. You could see your body leave your body.
Yeah. Fuck. These people are sickos. Yeah, capital punishment just. Ugh.
All right, now go see our sponsors.
Yeah. Well, can I?
Oh, you got another one?
Well,
I thought we were done.
I just want to say that just so capital punishment is still legal in over 50 countries in the world. And the top 10 list of countries who execute people is a disturbing list.
Yeah.
Obviously, China is way ahead.
Yeah.
And then you got Iran, you got Saudi Arabia, you got Iraq, and then you get the United States of America.
We're 5th.
We're 5th. Then you got Pakistan, Yemen, North Korea, Vietnam, and Libya. That is not a list we really should be on.
Well, here's the,
come on.
I'm concerned about this because China has billions and billions of people, so they should win this.
They should win this.
This one they should win by just raw numbers. They should win this if they have capital punishment. The U.S. has 325 million.
Yeah.
How many people are in Vietnam, or Vietnam made this list?
There's not that many people in Saudi Arabia.
No.
Yemen? What is there, 12 people in Yemen?
They have a chalkboard. They don't even have like a thing. Like someone moves out, they change the chalk. Oh, change. Yeah.
Not a good list to be on. Yeah. Some sick stuff.
All right. The U.S. What was the strangest thing you discovered in the U.S.?
The strangest
capital punishment. Did you read any of the things? Still legal today.
Still legal. Firing squad is still legal in some states.
Idaho has a firing squad.
You know what an Irish firing squad would do? Stand in a circle.
Yeah. Makes sense. Put him in the middle. All right. And the first electrocution, you know who did it?
Was it Edison?
Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison. You know what? I didn't know that, but it seemed like the right guess.
Yeah.
He was the first person that elected.
It was his team.
His team.
He created it, and it was his team in the late 1800s.
He created the electric chair.
Yeah. Yep. He practiced on animals.
And where was the electric chair done here in Florida? Pretty close by, right?
It was Stark, right?
Stark.
Yeah.
Stark.
Yeah.
If you've ever drank
they
in
released
Stark, come see me.
They released
strange nights over there.
Yeah, they released videos of electrocution, and Blake talked about the Green Mile. But they released a guy by the name of Spinklink when I was in elementary school, and it's not a pretty thing. It's not a pretty thing.
Oh, I bet it's not.
So
there was a guy in England, the last executioner in England, Alfred or Albert Pierpoint, and he was the hangman to the crown. And I think he was still hanging people at the late 50s or 60s. But he'd been the official. There was an official royal designated hangman in England. There's a wonderful movie about Albert or Alfred Pierpoint. And he was the guy. He hanged a lot of the... he went over to Germany at the Nuremberg trials. And anybody who chose death by hanging, Pierpoint did it.
And we had hangings here in St. Augustine, if you want to look them up.
Whoa.
Right behind the old jail.
Really?
Yeah. All right.
Damn.
And I just got a news flash that Murdoch was found guilty of all charges.
Oh, the guy in South Carolina?
Alec Murdoch was found guilty of all charges.
So,
spoiler alert if you're watching it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
What are the odds? Okay, so after talking about capital punishment and death and all that stuff, we should talk about our amazing sponsors. Yeah. Let's start. Hey, City Gates Distillery.
City Gates Distillery.
St. Augustine Distillery.
Drinking it today. Peanut butter whiskey.
Guys, if you haven't done the tour.
Cheers. I'm going to make a shot.
The tour is incredible.
I'm going to make a shot out of it this weekend.
Yeah.
That's my task for the weekend.
That's a good task.
Got to be productive. You got to be productive. All right. We already ordered. Heather confirmed that the order's in. 900-degree pizza and pasta. Order's in, Blake. That's where we're eating tonight. Good food.
Yeah.
Just wonderful food.
Abare, Kresge and Associates, they're working late tonight. They're probably ordering pizza from 900 degrees
Best
as well.
bean counters in town.
Those guys keep you out of jail, my friend.
Yeah, they do a wonderful job. All right, Beacon Listening Room and Gypsy Cab had lunch at Gypsy yesterday. Worked at the Beacon last night. Just wonderful people, owned by the same great
Same
people.
guys. I got drunk with 6 Irish people last Sunday night at the Beacon. There's way too many Irish people to be in a room, by the way.
I think didn't we do weird laws? Isn't that against the law?
It should. No,
That many
7.
Irish-
If you put 7 Irish
seven.
people in a
7.
bar in Florida. Yeah. We were
right.
close. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Irishmen,
Yeah. Meehan's Irish bar. By the way, there's exceptions to the rule.
yeah, you're allowed to at Meehan.
That's right. That's right. 3 bars in one. What a place. Right downtown. Go see these guys. They're brilliant.
Try the shepherd's pie.
Made with real shepherds.
Yeah, got to slice them real thin.
That's it. Yeah, you do. Do the waist chop.
The waist chop. Start with the nose.
Yeah.
Start
And
with the-
skip step 4.
Yeah, and make sure you do the flailing before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
These guys might know a little bit about flailing.
Yes, they do.
And they know about flogging.
They do.
All right, and that's St. Augustine Pirate Museum. Over 800 artifacts in there. It's an amazing place. You got to check it out. If you haven't been there, treat yourself and go to the museum.
Yeah, and if you got small kids, you'll blow their mind.
Yeah.
You really will. River and Fort. Look at What a location. If you got people coming in from out of town, if you haven't been there, go to this place. The view out the window is worth it on its own. The food is incredible. The view is amazing. You got to see it. River and Fort, what a spot.
If you go to the top, the rooftop up there, great spot.
Yeah.
You're going to see the river and the fort.
You will.
All right. A great place if you want to learn how to play golf. If you want to hone your skills, go to Palm Valley Golf Course. It is the most cost-effective golf course in town. It's 9 holes, beautiful location, a lot of fun.
It's gorgeous up
Yeah.
there. It really is gorgeous. And it's been family-owned since the late 1980s. And not a lot of places around here can say that.
Yeah, no, it's you can take 3 or 4 clubs and just have a great time. You can get in and out of there. You can play. You pay for 18. You play around twice.
Yeah.
And you can get out of there in less than 3 hours.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
And you get a good walk in.
You do get a good walk
Yeah.
in.
What did Twain say?
Golf is a good walk spoiled.
Good walk spoiled.
Yeah, I disagree.
Not there.
Not there.
Yeah. So I mean, you got horses on one side. You got cows on the. Say hi to Lenny the cow, right next door. He'll come over and say hi to you. It's a beautiful place.
Troy would talk to the cows.
Who doesn't talk to cows?
Everybody, pretty much.
Except for me.
Yeah. Okay, lesser known or forgotten U.S. wars. What do you got?
All right.
What do you
So
got?
I'm going to start with just a general statement.
All right.
All right. Because in school,
All right.
we don't talk about American Indian Wars.
Never. It's never mentioned.
We talk about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about all the good stuff.
But we don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. We really
We
don't.
just don't talk about it. So, I mean, my history thing is I want people to go out there. We've had 2 seminal
With 2 seminal Indian wars
wars
here.
in the state of Florida.
We had a treaty at Treaty Park.
Yeah.
To stop the first Seminole War.
Yeah,
Right?
didn't work out.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
But I mean, all those wars, the Apache Wars, the Trail of Tears.
The Apache Wars went on and on for like 40-something years. By the way, where did some of the Apaches end up as prisoners?
They ended up at Fort Marion.
At Fort Marion, which is the Castillo de San Marcos.
Yeah. That was twice a prison for Native Americans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we were the Apache Wars sort of
sorry, it wasn't a prison. It was the Carlisle School.
Oh, the Carlisle School, yeah. Kill
Yeah.
the Indian,
Yeah.
save the man.
Save the man. Well, and I don't know. Do you watch Yellowstone?
I do watch Yellowstone.
So they
Yeah.
have a very similar thing going on in this season
yeah.
of Yellowstone.
So I'm in season 2. I started late.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's very good.
Oh wait. I'm sorry. It's in 1923.
1923.
You need to watch 1923.
Well, I'm going to read. I got to finish Yellowstone first.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna watch
catch up
1923.
Catch up with Yellowstone and watch 1923 before you watch 18. Whatever
Okay,
it is.
will do.
Yeah. It's 1923. I think might be better than Yellowstone.
Well, I did hear Helen Mirren is amazing.
Oh, her and Harrison Ford crush it.
Yeah, they're so fucking good.
Crush it.
So good.
Yeah, and I love that movie stars are doing television now.
Ah,
Like, because Costner being in Yellowstone is amazing.
it is amazing.
But there used to be such a taboo.
How about doing television? Yeah.
Movie stars don't do television.
Yeah. Helen Mirren is one of my all-time favorites. I saw an interview with her on the BBC a few years back, and they said, if you could change anything about, what you were like when you were younger, what would you do? And she went, I'd give less of a fuck.
That's exactly it.
It's
I'd
so
take
good.
more risk.
Oh, she was so good.
I think and I'm not known for being cautious right now, but I was super cautious early on in life when I was with the government.
Yeah.
And I take way more risks now at 55. So my life I lived in reverse. You're supposed to calm down.
You're like
And
a
I was-
Benjamin Button type.
Yeah. So
Just in a certain light, you're like Brad Pitt,
well, yeah, some people tell me I look absolutely nothing like him.
Liars.
Well, and people were offended that, the movie he looked the best in was named.
Troy.
Yeah. You never put it together.
Holy shit balls, mate.
Never put it together, did you?
You know what? I did not.
This show is here to enlighten and teach people.
It is indeed. But no, you're right, though, about the Indian Wars. We do not talk about them. The Apache Wars, you had people like Cochise and Geronimo following on after the Mexican-American War.
Yeah.
Right? They lasted 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Huge battles all the time. Like, it is an incredible thing, and we just don't teach it in history at all.
Have you ever heard the story of Black Kettle?
No, I've no idea.
So Chief Black Kettle was a chief, and actually Blake has. I was fortunate enough to be a part of when the Apache came here and they blessed the fort of their heritage here at the fort. It was probably 2008, 2009.
Okay.
And I got to meet some really great people, and one of them was an artist that was a descendant of Chief Black Kettle.
Okay.
I've never met or never heard of the story of Chief Black Kettle, but the painting that's in Blake's room is of this story. And it was so horrific what the Americans did is Chief Black Kettle went under a truce and under a white flag went out on a hunting party. So he took all the warriors out and they went hunting. The cavalry came in and killed all the elderly, the children, and drug them through the streets of Denver. So the massacre of Sand Creek.
Massacre Sand Creek. That's
Yeah. So I tried not to look at that.
It's
painting.
a very disturbing painting.
And you've hung this picture in your son's room.
Well, you can't put it in the living room without it's a disturbing it's a disturbing painting.
Sure,
but it's a part of history, so we can't get rid of it either. And it was painted by the great grandson of Chief Black Kettle.
Wow.
And his name was James Black.
Wow.
James is a great dude. He's a Arapaho. He's on the Arapaho. They have their own government system.
Yeah.
And he's part of the Arapaho government system.
All right.
So,
Arapaho, right?
Yeah.
The road right beside Winn-Dixie?
Yep. You all right in there, Blake? Blake's got a cough going on. I don't know if it's coming through on the air.
I'm good.
You turn your mic on or off?
Mary in there, so
yeah.
So I'll give you another lesser-known U.S. war. Mm-hmm. The Philippine-American War. 1899 to 1902.
Yes.
Right? So I didn't know a hell of a lot about this. But it was the first U.S. imperial land war in Asia. I didn't know that.
Makes sense.
And so during the Spanish-American War, the Philippines, who had been controlled by the Spanish for over 300 years, the Philippines rebelled. And they proclaimed independence after 300 years of Spanish rule. Unfortunately, the 1898 Treaty of Paris gave the Philippines to the United States of America.
Yeah.
And a rebel leader, a fellow called Emilio Aguinaldo, and he had formed an assembly, which was actually the first democratic constitution in Asia. Mm-hmm. He was a little annoyed and launched a revolt, and the US sent in troops. And by the war's end, 4,000 US troops were dead, which was 10 times the number of casualties that we'd suffered in the Spanish-American War.
Spanish-American only lasted like 3 months.
Right? And there was 200,000 Filipinos killed. 200,000 Filipinos killed. But the direct link from that, so there was the Boxer Rebellion in China, which was 1899 to 1902, which was basically Boxer Rebellion, which is the righteous, harmonious fists, martial arts and Chinese weapons. We call them boxers, right?
Yes.
They were trying to get rid of the foreigners, trying to get rid of the Christian missionaries and all this stuff in China. And the US Navy played a massive role in quelling the Boxer Rebellion in China because we'd so many US ships and troops deployed in the Philippines at the same time that we were able to get to China and aid the British and aid other foreigners in China during the Boxer Rebellion. And that's what actually cemented US government at the time thinking we needed a strong presence in the Philippines, we needed to keep a strong presence in the Far East. And that all rolled around at the same time. And I did not know that the US was involved in the Boxer Rebellion. And I found that out this week.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Now, mine's not a lesser-known war, but I don't think people realize we're still at war.
Still.
Yes. We've been at war since 1950. The Korean War.
Oh, right. It's never officially ended.
No. The
Fuck.
Forgotten War is what it's called.
The Forgotten War, the Korean War, yeah.
I mean, because a lot of times they call it just a conflict. It wasn't really a war. It wasn't a war.
It was a conflict.
It was a conflict.
How many US troops died in the Korean conflict?
I think it was like 30-something thousand.
Yeah. Fuck.
I think I just picked a scab. If I start bleeding, we're talking about war. I'm just going to
Korean War sympathy blood.
I'm just going to smear it like that. All right. But in 1953, all they did was proclaim a ceasefire.
Okay.
We're still at war. There's not been a treaty. There's not been an end to exactly what's happening there. We are technically still at war in Korea.
That's amazing. I would love to, if anybody knows the answer to this. So the Korean War was, 7 or 8 years after World War II? 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
I'd met a guy when I first came to America who'd fought in World War II.
Yeah, it was 50 to 53.
Right.
So it was 5 years after.
5 years after the war.
Yeah.
I met a guy who fought in World War II, and then he fought in Korea, and then he was involved in Vietnam as well. I would love to know.
Call him sir.
I would love to know the numbers of American troops who fought or were involved in all three wars / conflicts.
Conflict.
I would love to
It's a
know.
conflict.
Like, if anybody has that information, maybe I need to look it up myself. But
Well, I mean, didn't Ted Williams was, I thought,
Ted
he
Williams.
was in the World War II and
Korea.
in the Korean War.
Yeah.
I mean, he was decorated in both. He was a fighter pilot, I believe,
yeah, he was. Jesus Christ.
and probably the greatest hitter
Of all time.
of all time. He played like 21 years in baseball.
Yeah.
All right.
Went to war twice.
If you take his batting average, his home run title, and his RBI, which makes up the
Triple Crown.
the Triple Crown, for those 21 years, he won a career Triple Crown. No one has ever done that for that amount of time. He won a career Triple Crown. He had the highest batting average during that entire time anybody else ever had.
Drove in the most
He had the
RBIs.
most home runs during that time, and he drove in the most runs during that time.
Okay, that's...
He had a career Triple Crown. No one else ever did that.
Yeah, you call him sir as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know how many World Series he won?
None.
0. He was with the Red Sox.
Red Sox. Which president was HW a fighter pilot in Korea?
In Korea,
Or was he
Yeah.
World War II?
I thought I think he got shot down in Korea.
Okay.
I think HW got shot down in Korea.
All right.
So
Yeah. So, one of my forgotten wars
Mm-hmm.
is the invasion of Panama. So you remember this in 1989,
Yeah.
right? It was right before I came to America. I actually knew a guy who was a bouncer for me at a nightclub, a country and western nightclub in the Panhandle of Florida. He was an airborne ranger who parachuted into Panama in '89. But it was sort of December '89 to January 1990. We didn't officially declare war, therefore it's not technically a war. But the backstory is amazing to it, right? So it was called Operation Just Cause, and it was basically we wanted to get Manuel Noriega out of office, right? Noriega was the de facto leader in. But Noriega had been a paid informant for the CIA since 1967.
yeah.
From 67 till 1980, Noriega was getting paid $100,000 a year. And after 1980, he was
Good
getting,
side gig.
he was getting 200,000 a year, right? And then he was doing all kinds of shenanigans with drugs and everything. But
Yeah.
Noriega,
If he hadn't gotten into drugs, he probably would have been fine.
probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
But he had helped sabotage the Sandinistas in Nicaragua. He made sure that Panama did not side with the USSR in the 70s and 80s, right? So he was a decent ally.
Yeah. What did they do to torture him? What music did they play?
I fought the law and the law won. Wow. When they had him trapped,
Yeah.
that's what they kept playing over and over again. I fought the law and the law won.
Yeah, I know they kept messing with him with something.
But so the thing that I didn't know was in 1988, when Reagan was still president, there was suggestions that we invade Panama. And Reagan said no because he didn't want to mess up.
He didn't want to lose that contact.
He didn't want to use George H.W. Bush. He didn't want to mess Bush's chances at winning the presidency. Because Bush had been CIA director from 76 to 77 and was paying Noriega.
That's where he was getting the check from.
Right. And he didn't want that to come up because he thought it would hurt Bush's election chances. And so the following year then, when Noriega wouldn't do what he was supposed to do, that's when we went into Panama. And but also there was something like 30,000 Americans living in Panama at the time, and then it was tied into the turnover for the Panama Canal, and it's all kinds of strange things.
Who did that? Was that Carter?
Carter in 77.
Carter's the one who signed it, and then it didn't happen until like 10, 15 years later.
It happened in 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Noriega was trying to do some shenanigans down there. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so it's not officially a war because we didn't officially declare war, but people fucking died.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's one. And I vaguely remember this, but I don't. The numbers are staggering on this. The Cambodian genocide.
Oh, I remember what was the Killing Fields, the movie, right?
Yeah. Pol Pot.
Yeah.
Cambodian genocide, and that's when I was alive when this was happening. You were alive when this was happening.
Yeah, 70s.
Yeah, but I mean, you were in Ireland.
Yeah.
Getting beat by a priest somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Not eating peanut butter.
Yeah, not eating peanut butter. Not enjoying the sun.
No, none of those things.
Hey, have a raw potato, kid. All right. So the Cambodian, I'm glad we can laugh about this as I'm reading this. The Cambodian genocide from 1975 to 1979 led to the deaths of over 2 million people.
What?
At the hands of Pol Pot and Khmer
Rouge, yeah. Bastards.
And it was exacerbated by the U.S. bombings and the invasion of Cambodia.
Ooh. So
Khmer Rouge genocide is tragically perpetuated by Cambodians. The U.S. and aerial bombings campaign that created the destruction, the chaos that enabled Khmer Rouge to seize power. The bombings extended for 8 years and long kept secret from the American public. So no one knew here what was happening.
Yeah. So we were doing the same thing in Laos. So Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam are all right there.
The secret war.
The secret war in Laos, right? And so from 63 to 73, we bombed Laos.
Yeah.
And so under Kennedy and Johnson and Nixon, they all escalated the bombing. And it was a secret war. Laos per capita is the most heavily bombed country in the history of the world. And I would defy anybody. Most people in America don't even know that Laos is a country. And you couldn't find it on a map. But the whole idea was because the Ho Chi Minh Trail went through Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. And the idea was we were targeting North Vietnamese supply routes through those places. But I remember, was it John Kerry who was on? He was on a swift boat in Laos.
Swift boat, yeah.
He wasn't officially there,
but he got the awards. He got the awards for it, and then he threw the awards over a fence in a peacetime thing.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some of those things like that are just.
And by doing that, it might have cost him
the presidency.
Yeah, it might have. So
I'm going to say what cost Kerry the presidency was claiming that windsurfing was his favorite sport. If you're running for president in America, it's football or baseball.
Yeah,
you don't claim we're not voting for a windsurfer.
Didn't he get in a bad bicycle accident in Germany or something?
Yeah, windsurfing. Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. All right, so guess what? We're at the end of our show. Blake and I have 900 Degree Pizza to pick up. Great show. If you guys please would share, support our sponsors. Our sponsors are amazing people. They let us do what we do.
And you can go to Sponsor Alley, as we're now calling it. That's Meehan's, that's River and Ford, that's the Pirate Museum, that's City Gates Distillery. It's all within like 150 yards of each other. Sponsor Alley, people.
Sponsor Alley for sure. All right, if you would, please share the show. We appreciate you so much for watching and appreciate all your comments. I'll get to read them after the show.
And feel free to fact check us. We probably won't care.
Yeah, some of the shit we said tonight's true. So, right? When you say
Some of it is
some
true.
of it, yeah,
Yeah.
we nudged on the truth.
Yeah, we were close to it.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, mate.
Next week, 6:34. This is Bollox Talks and Tangents. We'll see you next week.
St. Patrick's Day is overrated.